Good morning, students. We are starting with Principles of Management. In this chapter, we will be doing its introduction, meaning of Principles of Management, nature, significance, principles given by Fayol, F.W. Taylor as a scientific management, techniques of scientific management, and comparison between Fayol and Taylor. Starting with the introduction part, management has to perform a number of functions to achieve the organizational goals. As we discussed in chapter 1 also, such management functions can be effectively performed through application of certain principles of management on which this chapter is based. So question arises, what do we mean by these principles of management? Principles of management are broad and general guidelines for decision making and behavior of managers. They are not rules, but only a guide to action. These principles are applicable to different kind of organization such as business, hospitals, clubs, and educational institutes. There is a difference between management principles and pure science principles. Difference between these principles and technique also. And these principles and values also. Question here arises that how these principles of management have been derived. So the answer to this question is there are two steps. First one is through observation. The management thinkers and researchers, they observe certain events in actual practice and analyze them to get certain guidelines which can be used in the future. So through observation they are deriving these management principles. And second is experimentation. They keep on repeatedly experimenting on their validity. They keep on testing it in different organizations, in different environment. And when they get a certain result, it turned into principles. This is 3 marks important question. Now moving on to the nature of management. As it is shown in this picture also, first one, universally applicability. Mean to say that these principles are applied in all the kinds of organization, whether it is big or small. Whether it is a business or a government or a social organization. So irrespective of the size or nature, it is applied everywhere. Second one is general guidelines. Means it provides the guideline to action. These are not ready-made answers. These are not tailor-made tools. They have to be adjusted as per the demand or the situation. So these principles should be applied carefully in accordance with the need of the organization. Third one is formed by practice and experimentation. These principles are evolutionary. These are basically drawn out from the nature, developed through observation, experimentation. So these are through the experience of these management thinkers. So basically their evolution is from the nature of management. So formed through practice and experimentation. This we discussed just after the difference of management principles and science principles, principles and techniques, principles and values, that how these are derived. Then these are even flexible. You cannot apply these principles with rigidity like pure sciences principle. They have to be modified by the manager because we are applying them on human beings. They cannot be applied blindly because situations are different, and even though the situation is same, you cannot apply it blindly. You have to modify it according to the need of the people. Next one is mainly behavioral. Means they aim to influence the human behavior All these people, those who are working, are human beings. So the nature of human beings are very complex, very dynamic. So you have to influence them. So it is very difficult for you to predict their behavior. So you will try your level best to convince them. So principles of management are mainly behavioral in nature. You will understand the relationship between human and material, and automatically you will try to accomplish your organizational goals. Next is cause and effect relationship. The principles of management are intended to establish relationship between cause and effect so that they can be used in similar situations. In a large number of cases, it means principle helps in predicting the outcome of managerial action. To know the cause and effect relationship. Last one is contingent. It means it depends on prevailing condition at a particular point of time. What the situation is demanding. So they have to be suitably amended as per the situation to suit the organization as well as the human beings. Now moving on towards the significance of management, we have number one, it provides manager with useful insight into reality. It is talking about that these principles of management are very, very important. How? By providing managers with useful insight into reality. It basically improves the knowledge, ability and understanding of managerial situation and circumstances also. They also provide timely guidance which helps in increasing the efficiency of managers. So this principle enables managers to learn from past mistakes and to save time by solving recurring problems quickly. In this manner it develops insight and that bring into the reality, into the real world situation. Second is optimum utilization and effective administration. The resources available with the company are limited. As we know, we are always scarce of resources, but we have to put them to the optimum use. So by optimum use of these resources, we will give the maximum output with minimum cost. So these help you to achieve these things. Moving on to the next one is meeting changing environment requirement. In order to survive and follow, it is compulsory for an organization to continuously adapt itself as per the changing business environment. I've already told you these are general guidelines. They are flexible also, as we can modify it according to the prevailing condition. So management principles provide an effective and dynamic leadership and help the organization to implement these changes. Moving on to the next one, scientific decision. The management decision must be based on facts and justifiable in terms of intended purpose. They must be timely and they have to be realistic and they have to measure the subject also and finally evaluate it. So decisions based on principles of management are free from bias and prejudice. They are based on the objective assessment of the situation and emphasizes on logical rather than blind faith. Next one is fulfilling the social responsibilities. It increases awareness of the public and made it mandatory for the business firm to fulfill the social responsibility. Management theory and principles have to be evolved in response to these demands. So principles help in fulfilling social responsibility by providing or responding to the demand which the public is making continuously. So it generally helps and guide the manager in performing these social responsibilities. Then moving on to the last one, that is management train and even provide research. The principle helps to increase knowledge and are used as basis for management training, education and research. Due to this reason only, these are included in different courses. As we are doing BCom, MCom, BBA, BBS, MBA, these courses are included there. These principles enable refinement of management practices and facilitates development of new management techniques. With the shortcuts, these have been explained with the help of this PPT. That how managers are useful in developing this insight into reality. These are those sub-points which are going to help you to understand the importance of principles of management. That how they are scientific, how they are meeting changing environmental requirement. They are fulfilling the social responsibilities of the people. An example is also given to you. That how CSR is helping the managers to fulfill the social responsibility. How management train, educate and research. And last one, this is a question for you. If you have understood it properly, try to answer these questions and send it in the message. I hope it is clear to you.